want me to put that on my tudger?
Harry's wife. The Markles strike back. Family poses a problem for Harry's wife. There are essentially three branches, all containing non-intimate secondary sources. First of all, there are her in-laws, the royal family. She has placed them on the shelf, and of course has been repeatedly smearing them. Then there are the Raglands. They also are on the shelf. She says very little about them. Indeed, most of the time says nothing apart from some involvement with her mother, Doria. Then there are the Markles, chief of which her father, half-brother and half-sister, all of whom she has disengaged from. Disengagement of secondary sources is comparatively rare. Harry's wife has done this, ensuring that there is no communication between her and those three members of her family, because her narcissism deems them to be too great a threat. In terms of appearance, in terms of what they have said, in terms of what they know, her narcissism has deemed that it's appropriate to smear them by painting them as unreliable, treacherous individuals who only wish to harm her. Accordingly, her father, who, for his own narcissistic reasons, supported her in terms of tuition and getting her jobs, has been disengaged from. Notwithstanding the fact that he has had health issues, there's been no communication from her. Indeed, it's highly likely that she will have privately smeared her father to Harry and others to suggest some rather unsavoury behaviours in order to cause Harry not to question the fact that he has no relationship with his father-in-law and indeed has never even met him. The fact that her father has significant health problems has not caused her to contact him because, of course, she doesn't care about him. She has no emotional empathy for him. Of course, at a suitable point, if her narcissism deems that a reconciliation should take place, she will do so without hesitation. Not because she's come to her senses, but quite simply because her narcissism deems that now is the time to do it. And that shows how shallow and superficial that she is, that she's only contacting her estranged father because it suits her narcissism's need to do so. Similarly, because her half-siblings have been outspoken in relation to her behaviour and have criticised her, her narcissism has deemed that it's appropriate to cut them adrift as well. However, they have been around for a substantial part of her life. They know plenty about her. And family members are often the ones that are able to cause the greatest problem for the narcissist because they have evidence of the way that individual has behaved, and they are often not in a position that could be said to be biased. Of course, a narcissist will suggest that they are biased, but other people, for instance, if they hear an ex talking bad about the narcissist, they may reach the opinion, well, it's just sour grapes. You're upset that the relationship didn't work, and therefore that's why you're bad-mouthing this person. But with regard to family, it's less likely that a third party would think to themselves, they're your family. Why would they be cut? Why would all three of them have nothing to do with you? Something's not right there. People will be more likely to question it, less likely to accept the explanation that the narcissist has put forward, although the narcissist will attempt to portray it as them being the victim and suggest, well, my family are awkward, they're envious of my success, they've always been horrible to me, my father was abusive, I didn't really have a relationship with my half-siblings because they're much older than me, and therefore this has translated into me having nothing to do with them in adult life. I'm finally free of the shackles of control issued by my father, and I never really had a relationship with those two, and all they've ever done since I've become famous is try and ponce off me for money. That's the type of smearing that she's likely to have engaged in, plus potentially unsavoury allegations against her father. However, that doesn't mean that they go away, and a collateral consequence of the fact that Harry's wife has sought out infamy and wealth and to seek celebrity is that it also works for her estranged family. that there are people who are going to be interested in what they have to say about her and are also going to be interested in getting a payday. And why not? If it's good for Harry's wife, let the Markles fill their boots and get paid. And therefore, as reported by The Mirror and Scarlett O'Toole, Harry's wife's family release unseen childhood videos ahead of explosive interview. Harry's wife's family will share secret tapes and an extraordinary message as they're set to reunite for their last ever interview ahead of the coronation of King Charles. Now, this is due to take place around the weekend of the coronation, and of course is leveraging off the back of that. There has been a teaser trailer where it's clear that Mr. Markle Sr. is still not in the best of health. His speech is slow and affected by his health problems. But the article tells us Harry's wife's family are set to sit down for their last ever interview just 1 week before King Charles's coronation. In a world exclusive, Harry's wife's father, sister and brother will speak to Channel 7's Taylor Orbach to share unseen family videos and an extraordinary message. Now, some of the footage of those videos has been shown, which shows her, I think, as a prom queen and doing some dancing. So it may not be particularly revelationary in respect of it being standard home video stuff. Of course, Harry's wife won't want to be reminded of it because that's when she had frizzy hair and a different nose, etc., and her teeth hadn't been dealt with. And therefore, that will attack her sense of good looks that she now tries to project upon the rest of the world. Announcing the interview on Twitter, Taylor wrote, "World exclusive, this Sunday on @News7 Spotlight, Harry's wife as you've never seen her before. For the first time, the Markles unite with an extraordinary message on the eve of Charles III's coronation. These hidden tapes will stun the world, only on @Channel 7. Well, it remains to be seen if that's the case, and naturally, we will comment upon that in due course. It might be hyperbole surrounding it to get people interested in it, and it tells us little more than here is some family footage from back in the day. It remains to be seen. The broadcaster also shared a trailer of the explosive interview, stating, "The world has never seen Harry's wife like this, the homecoming queen," a voiceover said as a video played of Harry's wife being driven around in a convertible, wearing a tiara and prom dress. The clip then cuts to a shot of journalist Taylor speaking to the Markle family as he said, "This will be your last interview ever." The voiceover continued, "Treasured memories, home truths and secret tapes are all coming out." Speaking to the cameras, Harry's wife's sister Samantha Markle claimed she would still be a waitress if it wasn't for Dad. Harry's wife's brother Thomas Markle Jr. added, "We're not going to go away. This is going to change everything." Speaking about Harry's wife's marriage to Prince Harry, Samantha said, "They're really unhealthy for each other. It's a toxic relationship." Well, she's correct about that. Harry's wife's father, Thomas Markle, made a passionate plea to his daughter as he asked, "How can I fix this?" Again, an attempt to an assertion of control and manage a particular facade. The interview will premiere on Channel 7 Spotlight on Sunday, ahead of King Charles's coronation. Harry's wife will not be attending the historic event and will instead remain home in California with her children. Now, Harry's wife will not want this taking place. First of all, she doesn't know precisely what they're going to say, but it will be a threat to control because it's coming from people who have been painted black by her narcissism. Even if they were to say nice things about her, she would deem it to be inappropriate because they're painted black and therefore everything that they do is seen through that lens of being painted black. She will, of course, face a threat to control and undoubtedly will either watch the interview or want to see excerpts of it or be given a summary of what's stated. This will amount to challenge fuel because they're talking about her, which gives her fuel, but undoubtedly there will be criticisms of her. This will ignite her fury. She will just continue to smear them behind the scenes to Prince Harry and anybody else that will listen and say, "This is typical of my family. They're envious. Is it any wonder that I have nothing to do with them? This just validates my decision." They're just trying to milk people for money, of course, not realising that they're engaging in the very behaviours that she does because her narcissism can't let her see that this is how she behaves. But simply, it's ensuring that she will reject what they have to say, that she will smear them, and undoubtedly, following this interview, we will see further PR puff pieces and commentary arising where she will either dismiss what has been said about her directly by stating that it's incorrect, or more likely, come up with some more announcements about the future and what she's doing in order to take away attention from it. Unfortunately for her, this programme is happening. Unfortunately for her, there's going to be plenty of coverage about it. I suspect that the revelations contained in it are not going to be as monumental as people would imagine. Nevertheless, the very fact that the members of the Markle family have got together and that they're talking about her is going to present a problem to her, and therefore provides us with further opportunity for analysis of how this fits into the narcissistic dynamic, along with the way that she will respond thereafter. It'll be interesting to see how she responds, because she will, and it'll be interesting to see, of course, what the content of these revelations are. Is there going to be anything in there that really is groundbreaking and earth-shattering? And if so, you can be sure that your glorious narrator will be analysing it for the impact that it will have upon Harry's wife. At the moment, my mind is that it is not going to be anything crucial, and instead it's going to be some old footage and some commentary about how they're upset with her, they can't believe that she's behaved this way. Of course, she's going to be given a taste of her own medicine, and narcissists really do not like that. Whether they're going to spill the beans totally on her, we can only find out by viewing the interview. But it's a time that she's being given a taste of her own medicine, a degree of payback from both her father and her half-siblings, and it'll be entertaining to see what happens next. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.